And hey there, hi there, ho there, hello there, and welcome back to another exciting edition of the Cardinal Couple Radio Hour podcast. Gracious good morning to all of you all as we are four strong on the show this morning with Case being absent. He is chasing family members around for celebrations. So wish him the best of luck with that. But we do have Daryl in the house. We've got Jeff and Jared and me, Polly, to bring you the best and the brightest of what the Cardinals women's athletic programs did this last week, and some very exciting things to discuss. We'll also kind of take a glimpse into the future and do some prognostication on what we're going to see coming up in the next couple of days for Cardinal athletics on the women's side. But as we like to do, let's kind of catch up with our participants this morning. And we'll go ahead and start with Daryl. As you mentioned in your article Friday, Daryl, it has been a whirlwind week.
Oh my gosh, I have whiplash, you all, but a good week. I mean, in terms of overall outcomes and just the way that things have gone, I had a pretty good week.
It's always good to have a good week. And you got to actually chat it up with Jeff Brom a little bit, huh, from what I understand.
Yes, I got to welcome him back to Louisville. If listeners didn't get to read my article, my new job at UofL is onboarding staff, and the football coach is staff, and I had to verify his right to work in the United States. So he showed up, said he left his wallet in West Lafayette. Luckily, he had his passport, but that would not hold up if the police pulled him over on his way down here. So luckily, no UK fan or Purdue fan
Just,
officers pulled him over on the
this
way down
girl,
here.
Purdue
I
fan,
mean,
pulls him over.
I suspect he wasn't driving himself. I suspect there
He
were.
said he was.
What?
Yeah, he's still down to earth, even though he's a millionaire. Just still driving those, Honda Civics and doing the speed limit.
When they showed him, when he pulled up to the facility, he was in like some big SUV, and I think I saw him get out of the back of it, but I don't know. Maybe
No,
that
Uh,
was once he was
well,
down here on
there's,
campus.
there's a Louisville
yeah,
Mafia.
yeah.
They
The
picked him.
parade and picked him up.
So,
They said,
Daryl,
"Sir,
does
we
he
heard you
have the
didn't
right
have
to
your
work here?
wallet."
Did he have
He
the right to
does.
work in the United States?
He is
Is there maybe
verified.
like Utah says no, we don't want this guy working anywhere in our border or anything like that? That's good. And
And
you
then
mentioned the onboarding process here. This is intrigues me. So do you do like when they get on buses? Please watch your step, Jeff. Be careful. Yep.
no,
Step
more
up.
like, do you have your paychecks directly deposited, or that kind of like do you want to claim any dependents on your taxes, that kind of fun stuff.
Can they designate charities at that same time with you? 'Cause you got to start
No, too
the
soon.
human fund, or something like that, where you could get a little cut of that money. So I would like to
No.
recommend a 15% deduction to the Darrell Fund. It's very, very popular in some parts of the county. Yeah.
No, and then
Well, that's
actually yesterday we had to onboard the following coaches, the assistants and the certain position coaches. So it's been pretty fun. I actually got to go to the stadium and have these guys fill it out and make sure they were all valid, and they are.
and they
But
cross
what
their
was real
T's.
funny, you all, is all of these men had to call their wives and their moms to get tax advice. Every single one of them is on the phone asking their wife what to put on their tax form.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there you go. And if anybody is from HR Block is out there listening to the broadcast today, you have your assignment. Get these guys signed up under your wing. But fun and games, and yeah, I just happy to see him here. Certainly, we spent enough time on him. Now let's go to Jared. Jared, you've had an interesting week taking photos all across this great land of ours as well, and have got a few more coming up this weekend, eh?
Yeah, no days off per se for me. I took a day off from my real job on Thursday just to uh, get over to volleyball and work taking pictures over there. Certainly a good win, and back at it again today with volleyball and heading down to Rupp Arena tomorrow with you and Sonia and everybody to see some women's basketball versus UK. So no, what I like to say, no days off, always staying on the grind.
Third, we get to explore the wonderment and thrill of Rupp Arena and where do we enter this year. Uh, we did get good, nice instructions the other night, though, from one of the guys there. He said, you go all the way over to the left hand side, and there's some double doors, and it's on the side of the building, and you go through them, and then you go down the steps. So we'll see if that works, because I've been up there so many times, and it seems like to me for U of L events up there, they always have us enter somewhere else, Jared. You know, it switches every time.
Do you think that's intentional, trying to keep us away, scare
I
us
think
off?
I think it's pretty close. And Jeff Wall was going to chuckle when I told him I would just like to see you install the slide through the ceiling, and we could all enter that way. You know, and just slide right down there if they're at WordPress Road. Right? I would probably get hurt though. Anyway, fun on that. As for me, it's been kind of a busy week. Keeping up with the website, doing some other things. Certainly had a interesting morning this morning as I decided, oh, gee, I need to put in this Windows version, and it was still running about a half an hour before the broadcast. So I just went ahead and canceled it out, and I will try it again later because I had no clue when I first started in on this that it was going to take hours to put this version of Windows in. And so I'm currently upset at Windows, and I'll do that later. But I'm here with you, and that's a good thing. Let's see. Other than that, what else we got going on, Jeff? What's happening with you, man?
Oh, same old, same old. Enjoying volleyball right now. It's an exciting time of the year for volleyball, obviously. Kind of want to extend it because of this success of our basketball teams. But yeah, it's an exciting time of year. Obviously, hosting regionals right now. I've got a match tonight to advance to the Final Four. Obviously, we'll talk more about that here in a bit. And that's just got me really hyped. Work's going on. Work. It is what it is. Busy as always. That's just kind of the normal there. So, yeah, took Thursday off to go watch volleyball. So that's fun.
I can imagine you had a great time down there as well. It looked,
Yeah.
everybody I saw looked like to be partying.
Yeah, so I went down there, and my mother joined me, of course, and as she always does, and of course we went down and we were talking about, get down there about 12:30, whatever, get there about in time for the Louisville match, and we were found ourselves just kind of sitting around doing nothing. So we're like, well, let's go ahead and go. I mean, we watched the other match; it'd be enjoyable to watch. I'm glad we did. We got there at the end of the first set of the Oregon Nebraska match. And the first set was a bit of a blowout. Nebraska won like 14 something. Like it was not a very close set. But then it ended up, the whole match went 5 sets. It was over 3 hours long, and all the other 4 sets were really close, except for the fifth a little bit. But it ended up being a really exciting match to watch. I didn't have a real dog in the hunt. I kind of wanted Nebraska to win because I thought we matched up better with them. But yeah, it was an incredible match to go down and watch. If you didn't get down there and watch it, it's unfortunate, but it was a great one.
It was indeed fun to watch, and I had put in credentials to come down and cover the volleyball tournament, and was kind of told that I was entering too late for credentials, and so I did not think that I had received credentials, and I never got a verification that I had credentials, and lamented about that a bit until Jared showed up down there and took a picture of where I was supposed to be sitting and sent it to me. So actually, my credentials did get approved. I had a seat down there. All I had to do was show up, but I did not know that and was told that I did not. So I will go down today, though, and claim my seat down there. Not sure where I'm going to park it. I'll figure it out somewhere. I like to park under the building, but if you don't have pass to get down there, it can be pricey at times. We'll see. It's a matter of mobility with me.
Yeah, we parked actually under the garage, under the arena.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's really under the plaza out front, really, when you look at how it's laid out. But anyway, we parked.
Yeah.
We were down on the bottom floor of the parking, and when we were leaving, we pulled out of the parking spot, pulled forward 50 feet, and sat there and didn't move for like 30 minutes.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Like long enough that my car actually turned itself off. Like,
Oh wow!
No. He said, "All right, that's enough, Jeff. Come on." I've had that fortunate ability. Sometimes the girls are all know me there when I go in on that Third Street side there to get back in there. That's the way I enter it. They know me pretty well, and sometimes they'll just wave me on through without scanning me or anything.
Hmm.
That's nice if I don't have a scan
Yeah.
for the particular event. I don't have a scan for today. But we'll see who's down there. I mean, I'm willing to shell out a few bucks to park there because, as I mentioned, with my mobility issues, it's a lot easier for me to park in the handicap spots there
Yeah.
and just walk maybe the 50 yards it is to go outside and then re enter in the media entrance than it is for
Yeah.
me to have to stagger up from Witherspoon or other places. Yeah, getting old is a you know what, y'all. But hey, we've had some fun with this week. Let's go ahead and jump now to what's going on next week in our Twitter information. And since Case not with us, we're going to turn that over to Jared's capable hands today. So take it away, sir, for scheduling and Twitter.
Yeah, Case has been training me for the last hour on how to do scheduling and Twitter. Make sure we get it done properly and efficiently. His case is out. He did get the write in. If you haven't gotten a chance to check out today's post on the Cardinal Couple site, Case does tweet out as best case scenario. That is BST, no E in the word best, and that it's a character limit issue on Twitter, I believe, is what we found out quite some time ago. Daryl tweets out as Daryl Faust 4. That's the number 4 at the end. Jeff's got a couple Twitter accounts at Jeff McAdams and then also at Card Couple Radio. Paulie tweets out as Cardinal Couple. He'll have plenty of volleyball tweets today, so make sure you're tuning into that to get the latest information. And then I tweet out as Mr. Anderson Jared. So got through Twitter pretty quick. A little bit of scheduling going on today. Obviously, the big one that we're going to focus on and talk about is volleyball versus Oregon at 4 o'clock. That's going to be downtown KFC Yum Center. A trip to the Final Four is on the line. If you can't make this one in person, it is going to be aired on ESPNU as well as the ESPN app. You should be able to stream it. Also going on today, our not so hot men's basketball team heads to Tallahassee to take on a also not so hot Florida State team at 1 o'clock. Tomorrow, another big game going on. Women's basketball hits the road, going down 64, takes on UK. This one is in Rupp Arena. Typically, UK women's basketball plays Memorial. Due to the caliber of this game, they typically move to Rupp Arena. 1 p.m. tip off for this, and this is actually going to be on the main ESPN channel. So no matter where you're at in the country, you should be able to pick this one up pretty easily. Monday and Tuesday next week, get some time off. No sports going on. Get to Wednesday, a little bit busier. Women's basketball hits the road. I guess you could say they hit the road. They're going to be closer to campus than if they were at the Yum Center, actually, as they're playing Bellarmine at Freedom Hall at the fairgrounds. 6:30 tip-off, so this one's a little bit earlier than the normal ones. This one looks like it's only ESPN Plus at the time. Don't know if that's going to change at all. Bellarmine's not having a great year again, so we'll see what goes on with that one. And then men's basketball will actually take over the Yum Center that night. They've got a game going on against Western Kentucky. Skipping ahead, nothing on Thursday, nothing on Friday. Then by the time we get to next Saturday, we'll be on air before we need to hit anything. But there's obviously a big football bowl game going on next Saturday. And we're through scheduling and Twitter.
And I am confident we're going to have some volleyball to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And I did see that a couple of the key UofL football players were going to participate in the bowl game as to make sure that they didn't mess up their NFL draft chances. So that should be interesting to see. Uh, Actually, I think both teams are saying, hey, he's sitting out. I know UK's got half their roster sitting out for their bowl game. So that could be fun to see what these kids look like in a bowl game. Second and third stringers out there. But by golly, volleyball is the topic we want to talk about right now. We're going to jump right on into it as a card. So let's kind of back up here a little bit and talk about the Baylor contest. Louisville was able to take the Bears down in 3 sets, 25-23, 25-16, and 25-17 in a fun-filled KFC Yum Center when all that took place. Jeff and Jared were both there. Let's go ahead and I guess start with you, Jeff. Recap this big win for Louisville.
Yeah, it was. Louisville had a little bit of a slow start, as they have been wont to do this year a bit. But in that first set, let Baylor get keep it pretty close through a lot of it. But second and third sets pretty well turned it on, closed it out. Um, I don't think there were too many people that were predicting a Baylor win in this one. It would have been a pretty big upset. It would have been a pretty big surprise. They're not a bad team, but in the volleyball world, there's just kind of this top echelon of teams that Louisville is fortunate to be a part of now, and Baylor's just a little bit outside of that right now. So, um, good, just a good solid outing. Again, like I said, a little bit of a slow start, but jumped into it in the second and third sets, really put it away. A lot of fun romp there, and yeah, yeah, that's that. Yeah, great play all around. Lots of blocks. That's what we do. We block. That'll be a challenge this evening, but lots of good blocks. Yeah, it's fun.
Daryl had the write up on that in our Friday Cardinal Couple column. Sweep for the Cards. Annie DeBeer, Claire Child say the usual suspects showed up for this one, didn't they, Daryl?
Yeah, they did, and there was some promotions or from marketing, just highlighting Anna DeBeer's debut in the Yum Center this season. I think that she had a lot of excitement in this one, and the Cards had to, or both of these teams had to sit around for a while until their match was able to start without like a real start time. It was a lot of hype on what day was it? Thursday that this game
Thursday.
was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype around campus with staff getting some tickets and being able to go over there. So I had some coworkers near me that were heading over there like at 12:15. So they had to sit around for a while for that first match, and that first match had so much energy, and I'm sure that the Cards were just kind of getting anxious, waiting to. I think Jared put in the group chat that players are just getting a little nervous, trying to get this game start or this match started, and yeah, and Anna DeBeer, I had it on while I was quote unquote working, and every time I looked up, Anna was making like really strong swings, getting the kills, and just making her presence known. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, the teams were in the tunnels, waiting to come out to start warm-ups
For an
at the
hour
end.
and a half.
No, like near the end of the fourth set. Of course, that fourth set for Nebraska Oregon went to 32-30, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when it dropped in for Oregon to push it to the fifth set, you could see the players' eyes just kind of roll, going, "Oh God, now we got to wait for another set." They kind of walked away a little bit. So,
But
yeah.
luckily, it's only 15 points.
Yeah.
But then Oregon gets out to a huge lead, and you think, okay, we're gonna.
Yeah, it's about over. We're about to come out there. Yeah, and then
no, just kidding. Nebraska wants to show some more fight and
runs off like 6 straight or something.
Yeah,
at match point.
I was getting
to
nervous.
save off.
I mean, I imagine what the coach was saying to the Ducks, like, we need 1 point, you all. 1 point. And they just could not secure that for 6 straight points. It was a little scary.
The delay being what it was. Still, if you like volleyball at all, you had some exciting stuff to watch before the card came on. I mean, this was entertainment plus. I was here at home watching on TV, and I was like, my God, look at this game. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Teams are fighting to stay alive.
Yeah.
Jared, you were down there snapping photos of this and the other contests that took place down there that day. Some of your thoughts and observations?
Yeah, kind of bouncing off what Daryl and Jeff said. Just be able to sit and watch that first match. I know as a player for the next match, you're like, hurry this one up. I'm ready to go. But as someone who didn't really care who won all that much, my team wasn't playing in that. I was just enjoying the match. It was exciting, thrilling. And that's top tier volleyball is what we got to watch there in that first set. So I was glad I went down early to watch most of that one. But as Daryl pointed out, a lot of our players, they're kind of moving around, a little jittery. I think it reflected in our first set for a little bit. You have to remember Raquel Lothero. This is her first time ever making it out of the second round of the NCAA tournament. So this is all a new experience for her final year. She's going to be nervous. You've got players for UofL. This is only the second time they played in the M Center in their careers. It's a different feeling. It's tournament, and I think we saw a little bit of that here and there in the first set as Baylor pulled off a couple mini runs. Things settled down a little bit second and third set. Definitely had a mismatch going on against Baylor that worked in our favor. Having 5,000 attendance with most of them cheering on the Cards.
Let's be fair. A significant chunk of that 5,000 were Nebraska fans.
Yeah, that's true too. But I'm not sure we're going to see that many Nebraska fans today. Maybe a few will stick around just to watch because they're here.
Yeah. Nebraska travels very well for their team. We'll give them that credit. Actually, on Volley Talk, somebody actually apologized for the low Nebraska turnout. I was like, really? Okay, whatever. Because there was a bunch of them there.
They were loud. They were awfully loud. That's for sure. You could hear them. But
the comment on Volley Talk that I really enjoyed was it wouldn't be Louisville without an 11 a.m. match in the middle of the week with them selling beer.
Yeah, exactly.
so I actually really enjoyed that comment. That was. I thought.
To which my follow-up was more so if it's bourbon.
Oh yes.
And did they have? I'll find out that today, of course. But did they have those walk down the steps bars open on either side of the stadium down there?
They're not. The one side was.
Is that where they're serving food?
What I want to say, like a media lounge, food, drinks, snacks for media. Then the other side was just closed off entirely, which, I mean, it's probably not a big deal.
So it's kind of like the basketball setups then when we play in the regionals down there, right?
Yeah, but all the stuff in the concourse area was open, and including, like I said, selling beer. I don't know about other, but definitely was selling. I saw a number of people with beers. So
there you go. Yeah.
Yep.
The hippies in Louisville, Kentucky say, "Come on back to beer." That's a song from the 60s years ago. But yeah, 25-23 in the first set for the Cards as they jumped out really to a nice lead in this one. 8-3 at one point. Of course, the Bears came rolling back. Claire Chelsea had 3 consecutive Louisville points to break a 12-12 tie and put the Cards up 15-12 over the Bears. The Bears decided, no, we're not done yet. It's early, and tied it up at 18 before Anna DeBeer got a kill to put us up 19-18. That actually turned into be a 3-point rally. Louisville had a 23-20 advantage, and then our girl Rachel closed it out the set with the kill, 25-23. I was nervous in that first one and said, man, this could be a 5-setter. But set 2 proved to be a little bit different. The Cards, 8-7 advantage. They went on a 5-0 run. PK Kong really good with a couple of nice kills in there as well.
She had a nice match.
Yeah. 13-8 and then 14-12, and then Louisville went on an 8-2 run to make it 23-14. This one virtually pretty much over, a 25-16 second set win. And so we went after the halftime break to the third set. The Cards taking at 25-17, jumping out to an 8-3 lead. That was nice to see. You had to wonder how the Bears were going to come out after halftime, gang, but Chelsea was hitting the ball well. Louisville goes up 17-14. They go up 25-17 to win this thing. I don't think that the Cards ever felt seriously in challenge that they were going to have to go over 3 sets. But you've got to give Baylor a lot of credit. They just simply did not just roll over and say, okay, you got this, Louisville. We're just going to play and go home. I thought it was a good effort out of Baylor, losing effort, but give them credit. Louisville advances; they move on.
Yeah, couple of stat lines I'd like to kind of shout out here.
Sure.
On particularly on attacking, you have 11 kills, 3 errors on 28 total attacks, and then you have 11 kills, 3 errors on 22 total attacks. That's between Claire Chaussee and Anna DeBeer. That is eerily similar. But both played really well. Seeing more and more of Anna playing in more rotations as she continues to recover from knee injury. And also, you mentioned PK Kong, Pegrun Kong, 7 kills on 15 attempts at 467.
No attack errors for her.
Yeah, she played very well, very cleanly. 467 total. Also, shout out Claire Chaussee for 12 digs. She had a double-double on that one, which is pretty impressive.
the usual suspects do well. And
Yeah.
plus, PK has really played well this year, and I'm very
Yeah.
excited about hearing the things that she's going to be able to do, potentially down the road for the Cards as well. But bye-bye Bears, hello Ducks is the prerogative here as Oregon comes waddling into the KFC Center today. They beat Nebraska. That's pretty big stuff
Yeah.
right there. Okay, they got a little more rest than Louisville actually when you look at it, since they had the early game on Thursday. Of course, they
Oh,
put out
well,
a
they
lot.
also had 2 more sets, Paul.
Yeah.
Yes, I was
They were,
about to
they
say
were
they're
playing for over 3 hours. So,
Yeah,
They
or,
put
yeah,
out
or maybe an hour and a half more.
yeah.
I think the Cards match actually was like an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
Something
it was
real-
under an hour and a half. It was barely under an hour and a half, but yeah.
It's the third one this tournament for the Cards where it
Yeah.
was under an hour and a half.
So they've all been
Wow.
sweeps. Yeah, they haven't dropped.
Keep
We're
it
the
moving.
we're the only one seed that hasn't dropped a set yet in the tournament.
Don't
And-
jinx it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
knock on my-
recipe for success, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Get out there as less as points as possible. Let's keep it moving. Fresh legs.
Expand just a little bit more on it, Daryl. I mean, this is an Oregon team that stares face into adversity and goes, we're not done yet. We're coming back at you. What are they going to do against this Cardinal team? I mean, has Oregon got that same kind of effort left in them for this match today?
Yeah, they're definitely going to fight. You could see it on the sidelines. Their coach just encouraging this team to fight, and did a little reading on their history, and this is probably a tie. I think it's a tie for the farthest that Oregon's ever gone in the tournament.
No, they
No.
actually fell to Texas in the national championship at the Yum Center my
2012
freshman
What?
year, because
Yeah.
I still have my Oregon band or my Oregon volleyball shirt when we were hired as the Oregon band for that. But
Yeah.
obviously, I'm not wearing my Oregon volleyball shirt today.
Yeah.
I was going to comment about that in Case's articles today. He was talking about men's and women's basketball playing Oregon, and I wanted to comment. Yeah, our band has played Oregon too, but in a different sense of the word. So
I am
But-
not wearing my Oregon shirt today, though.
That's a smart choice, Jared.
yeah.
I think you should.
So
You know,
I'll add on to my statement earlier. We're the only team left in the tournament at all, not just one seeds, to have not dropped a set. So
The Ducks are on a 16 match winning streak, y'all. That's somewhat concerning, if you ask me. They're finding ways to win, and they beat, looks like, Loyola Marymount, Arkansas, and Nebraska to get here. And Nebraska is no easy task. They took down a historical program, and we're thankful. But I think the road ends here for Oregon.
Yeah.
Oregon does okay when they go 5 sets, going 7-3 on the season. I'm going to ask you, Jeff. The Oregon has what I consider 2 really, really strong kill leaders in Mimi Calder and also in a younger woman by the name of Brooke Nunviller. Strong hitters.
Yeah, Oregon depends a lot on their outside hitters, which you usually think it's a recipe for getting blocked a lot, which is great for Louisville because we block a lot. But what they do is they play very, very fast volleyball. They keep their sets low, flat, shoot them really fast to the pins, and try to beat the block, getting set up. So Louisville's going to have a challenge on their hands. They're going to have to be able to get those blocks set up really quick. We're probably going to see Maya and PK in the middle, left a little bit to their own devices, and covering any setter dumps or middle hitting, because the pins are probably going to move out early. The pin headers, blockers are going to move out early to the pins to try and cover that. They're quick offensive set. So, but yeah, they depend on those 2 pin headers a lot. And then they'll try to engage their middles a little bit to balance that. But it's kind of the opposite of what Louisville does. We like to get our middle hitting going to force the defense to kind of focus in on that middle a little bit more, which frees up our pins to hit more freely. So a little bit of an opposite approach, similar in play to how Pittsburgh plays. So our experience playing Pitt is useful here. But that's going to be the biggest challenge for Louisville today is to be able to handle the that quick offense out to those, particularly the two pins. Brooke Nunlover is very good. Mimi Collier is very good. So as you mentioned, they're both great pin hitters. So yep.
We're being informed and notified that the box office also is now open. If you want
Yes.
tickets, you can get $10 tickets for this event. Just going down, buying them in person down at the box office window
Yeah.
down there.
You
I think
can get $10 tickets online, but by the time you add on all of the Ticketmaster fees and stuff, it ends up about double. So if you go down there,
yeah,
and you
just
should be able to get tickets and walk up. We're not going to sell out the KFC Center today. So
yeah, just hop in your car and drive on down there.
yeah,
Go ahead and buy the tickets, and then maybe go to a nice lunch while you're downtown doing that
yep.
or something like that. There you are.
There's a lot of
To have
great
some
little
fun.
restaurants right around. So
One of the things I'm seeing here, Jared, is on this game coming up today is that the cards obviously have been three sets and out with everybody they've played this year. Uh, what do they have to do to make this a three-set match in beating Oregon?
Just stick with the Louisville style. You'll see sometimes in tournaments that teams will alter their style to try and counter what their opponent does instead of sticking with what they're known for and familiar with. And sometimes it backfires. I mean, Louisville's a great serving team, aggressive serving team, and we saw that against Baylor. And as Jeff mentioned, solid, incredible blocking. Just kind of stick with what has worked and what's been successful all year. I mean, you don't get to this point of the season uh, without having like a game plan that's just worked all year for you. Just stick with it and trust the process. I mean, you're obviously it's volleyball. You're going to give up some points here and there, but overall, you give up a few points, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure you take the set, take the match.
And also, just a brief sideline here before we kind of round up the or get back into volleyball. We found out early this week that Peyton Verhulst was going to leave the Louisville Cardinals women's basketball program. But who did Jared see at the match against Oregon? Who was that showed up against Baylor? Derek, Jared,
It
who'd you
yeah, seeing Peyton make an appearance at Volleyball Thursday definitely uh, brightened my day, knowing that she's about to leave U of L as she explores some other options with programs. But she's always been really good about going and supporting other U of L teams. I mean, I saw that all her freshman year. I've seen it this year quite a bit. It's one of those things that you have to appreciate about a player is they're willing to go and support other student athletes and programs. She was there with some of the men's soccer team. One of those is her current boyfriend, and then sitting right in front of them was one of the men's basketball players. They're in the friends and family section. I know that she's gotten pretty close with Paige Morningstar and CC Rush. She actually had a sticker with CC's face on it on her
yeah.
sweatshirt when I saw her. And then obviously she's known Sydney Shetland for a couple years now. So it's good to go out and support your friends and cheer them on. And ideally, and hopefully, we'll see her again today. And there will be more people in the crowd that give her a smile and wave and cheer her on as they did Thursday.
any words of insight or reveal out of her, Jared, as you talk with her? And hey, of course, you had a selfie made with her. We could.
Oh, I can't pass up the selfie, especially before she leaves. So I definitely got that in, and I might throw that out in an article sometime this week. No, just all I did is I was wishing her the best of luck and told her I can't wait to see her succeed wherever she goes. Cardination loves her, will support her, and just happy to see her doing whatever she feels is going to be best for herself. Which, as Walton mentioned, it's just a matter of playing time, playing opportunities, which is always one of the big things when it comes down to different players transferring out. So I know she'll make a great impact wherever she goes.
Daryl, this was a move that I think kind of surprised all of us here at Cardinal Couple when the word came out on it. Uh, and playing time is certainly what all players seek, I think, when they enter the D1 level and they think that they could go into a program and play ball. But Peyton has kind of proven that she can shoot the three at times, but she wasn't doing that great at it this year. Your thoughts and observations on what Peyton's career might turn into now?
Well, So I mean, it really does suck, and I'm kind of cautious about what I say because all of us have had side conversations just trying to figure out what happened here and what
Right.
we feel about it. So I'm not sure what I can say on what I think transpired, other than I'm just really cautious here because I'm not
Yeah.
trying to badmouth anyone. I just think it was a difference in mm, trying to really be cautious.
Yeah. Let's not get in too deep of water here. Yeah, let's throw a couple options at you here. Sam Purcell was one of the ones who recruited her. He's kept up a good relationship with her. Is there a chance she might be looking down there at the Mississippi State Bulldogs?
I would think her options are pretty open for anything. I think that
Yeah.
any team in the country could use her and would want her, and she would be successful there. It's just unfortunate that it's not going to be on our team. I think that those bridges are kind of already burned, and we just got to move forward, and hopefully it works out for the best for everyone involved. And I'm still gonna cheer her on, but I will admit I'm upset, and I really was looking forward to a senior Peyton because I think that she's a great leader. I think that she's improved since her freshman year, but I'm not sure that it was quick enough for maybe her or Coach Walls, and that's where they sort of butted heads, and she's just looking to start fresh. So, I mean, we wish her luck, but I will say that I don't want to see her go win a national title somewhere else. That would really upset me.
And wouldn't it be ironic if she came out and said, "Yeah, I'm done playing basketball at Louisville. I'm going out for volleyball now. I'm joining Sydney on the volleyball
Hey,
team."
she was a heck of a volleyball player in
That's what I
And
in
I
high
think
say.
they,
school,
I
and
think they won a state championship if I remember correctly when she was playing for them at Bishop Meacher, the high school there in Kansas City. I could be wrong on that, but I thought I remember seeing that she decided to play volleyball her last couple of years, and they did win a state championship. So certainly,
well, Danny's got a lot of players graduating this year. If Peyton decides to convert and play volleyball, I certainly wouldn't complain in the least.
Okay.
so let's kind of take a quick look at what we think may happen here down the road, and then we'll move on over to hoops a little bit. But provided the Cards do get into the Final Four, which we're all hoping they do, who are the other three opponents in your all's estimation that might be joining them in the Final Four? Jeff, we'll go to you with your vast knowledge of volleyball first. What other three besides Louisville?
Oh gosh. Holy cow. These are all actually very open potential. I think the most solid likely to win is going to be Texas. They're playing Ohio State. Um, Texas beat them twice early in the season, regular season. Of course, that was in Texas. Of course, this is in Texas as well. I think likely Texas will make it over Ohio State. I'm not sure which one I want to meet up with, but obviously Ohio State has the win over us in the early season, but Texas is just a really, really good team. I'm not sure um, much of anybody's up to beating them, but we'll see. Coming out of Wisconsin, it's Wisconsin or Pitt. I'm not real keen on meeting either of these either. Wisconsin's going to be, they're a very good team, very tall, very powerful team. Obviously, they beat us in the semifinals last year. Pitt, I'm not real keen on meeting up with them for the third time this year. Although we split with them, so we know we can beat them. We know we can beat them pretty well as we beat them late in the season in 3 straight. I think Wisconsin comes out of that, but man, that's a really close call there. And then out of the far west, you got San Diego versus Stanford. This may be the other one that I call as an upset. San Diego has been playing really well, but they haven't been challenged really well in conference or in that West Coast conference, and it's kind of a block conference for volleyball. They had a really good early season. I think their only loss is to us.
Correct.
Yeah. So, they've had a really good season. So I think Stanford wins that, but again, it's not a surefire thing.
Okay, just pictured in here. Jared, let's go through yours real quickly as well. Texas versus Ohio State. Who advances?
I'm in agreement with Jeff. I think Texas is going to take that, although Ohio State will probably steal a set in that one.
He's got a hook 'em horns on his side of the bracket. Then, all right, then Wisconsin versus Pitt.
This is, of the four matchups today, this is the one that, to me, is the biggest toss-up, really. I, honestly, I would rather play Pitt again, I think, just because we've proven that we can beat them, and Wisconsin certainly gave us some fits with height. Although Wisconsin had like 22 blocks or something ridiculous against Penn State, and I don't know if Pitt can get around the Wisconsin blocking and height, so it's hard not to see Wisconsin uh, push for a two-peat or a repeat here.
Go Badger, go, huh? Okay. All right, Stanford at San Diego, the West Coast powerhouse match.
Telling you, it's going to be a San Diego victory on this one.
Hmm.
I'm of the four ones. This is the one I'll definitely see an upset happening. Don't forget they took down Pitt to start the year. They swept Ohio State right after they fell to us. They've got a couple other ranked wins throughout the season. Pepperdine was one of those. BYU's another one. Then they go through, and I mean, they swept Kentucky, and I felt like none of those were fairly close. They handled Washington State well early in the tournament, handled Northern Colorado with ease to start the tournament. I mean, San Diego's just a red hot, underrated team. 30-1. I mean, even to go through conference play undefeated, no matter what the conference is a remarkable feat. So I think they're a red hot team, and they're dangerous.
Yes, indeed. All right. I know Daryl hates to do predictions or guessing game contests or anything, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask her anyway on these. Okay, who joins Louisville in the Final Four if the Cards win? Daryl, Texas versus Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Texas as well. I think that they're just they've been there and they're just rolling. So Texas on that one.
Everybody wants to hook them horns. Very good. Wisconsin and Pitt.
Gonna be a tough one. Although I want Pittsburgh to win, I will go Wisconsin just because I think that the going off of Jeff's word and everybody else saying that they're blocking and their size, that they're able to get the win in this one.
That very scary Badger mascot, which does not
He
look like
is
a Badger
scary.
at all. He looks like some kind of alien or something. Then
Someone called him cute, and I just shook my head.
he's not cute. No,
No.
he's not cute. He's scary. He's going to Omaha, according to you. Then okay, good. And Stanford, San Diego.
Oh, I'm going San Diego on this one. They swept Kentucky. Only fallen 2 sets in the tournament, so I'm going San Diego on the upset on Stanford.
No
And then,
love
of course,
for the
I'll pick the Cards.
No love for the Cardinal at all here in Stanford. But all right, so I'll go ahead and throw mine in real quick. I do see Louisville going past Oregon to get to Omaha. Texas, Ohio State. Give me some Buckeye. That's right. I want to see Cajuns. I want to see Texas go home. Just go home. Leave. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Ohio State. Go on up there. You got it. And Wisconsin versus Pitt. You know, as much as I want us to beat the pants off Pitt every time we play them, I got to kind of hope they make it to the Final Four here. And, maybe we could even get a Louisville Pitt final game in this tournament. Who knows? I'm taking Pitt over Wisconsin. Go home, Bucky. Take your ugly Badger with you and get out of here, okay? Let's go. And then Stanford, San Diego. This is the toss-up for me. I'll throw up a coin in the air here and see what it says, and it landed on its edge. Oh my gosh! No, I'm going to go with Stanford. Stanford, a very, very good, solid team. Everything they played in a tough conference out there, San Diego, has been the upstart. They've done a lot of things, but I think this is where their road ends. And Stanford is the one that goes to Omaha. So there we have it. If any of us can remember this, we'll come back and revisit it next week.
If only technology allowed us to go back and listen.
Yeah.
Yes, wouldn't that be great? Yeah. Uh, I'm sure one of you all put it in your article on how we did. But okay, so with the, and anything else on volleyball before we get a little basketball in here, gang? Anybody?
I I'd like to shout out the coaching staff on this. I think that
Indeed.
we touched on it in our group chat. Just how it feels to be at this point in the tournament versus several years ago. I've talked about it with Thomas this week. We were watching the match, and I said it to him that it just feels like the Cards are supposed to be here. When the postseason comes around, it just feels like, okay, there's 6 matches left. This is doable. When 3 years ago or 4 years ago, when the Cards were playing Texas at Texas just to get to the Elite Eight, I believe was a tall order. So Danny's really brought this program into a national conversation and being a contender, and she totally deserves the a lot of credit on getting these teams to be as successful as they are. And I hope that she can get a championship before she either calls it quits or decides to move on.
Yeah, we wish the best for Danny on that. And I guess that's probably one of the things, Jeff, that we've batted about too. If John Cook ever decides to step down up there, at Wisconsin or Nebraska, you think that door opens up for Danny?
Yeah, I think it's actually pretty likely. The if the offer is extended, she'll take it. I mean,
Yeah,
she would
they're
be crazy
falling
not
for
to.
sure.
I mean, duh. I mean, I would be the first person marching into her office and saying, "What the heck are you doing?" if she declined that offer, because it's so obviously a great
You
step for her,
you'd have to offer to buy her all the sparkly blazers
right? I mean,
around town, Jeff.
but
Beat her over the head, drag her over to the Cooper Center, and throw her down walls and slide until she says yes.
yeah. So the only question then is, does she get offered? And I think it's a
Yeah.
pretty high likelihood she will be. I get the opportunity to speak with a big Nebraska volleyball fan, season ticket holder, back in May. It's actually while my mother and I were on a Alaskan cruise, but there was a big Nebraska volleyball fan there, and we ended up chatting about it. And I said, my only question for about that is whether she gets the offer. And this guy was like, "Oh, she will."
She'll be
I
their
was
first
like,
call.
yeah, I was like, well, dang it. I was holding out hope.
That's kind of simple. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's quite a likely move when
There
John
you
Cook
go.
retires. I think the the cheering interest for U of L is for John Cook to decide to have a really long
Yes,
career.
that's what's a much more long and prosperous career for
Yeah.
John Cook, lasting 2 decades at least, right?
Yeah, which also means basically don't win another national championship, because I think that will hasten his retirement. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, they're not winning one this year.
no, done this year.
There you go, Jared,
There.
being bold and outspoken on that move. There you go.
Well, they're out. They can't win this year.
Gee, Jared, you had to dig deep for that one. All right, so let's take it on over to hoops for a little bit, and when the time we got left here is the Cards called out Woo Pig Suey. Wednesday night or Tuesday was Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night brought in Southern Illinois at Evansville, and guess what? A big Louisville win, 105-32, 5 in double figures for the Cards. Certainly did not show any hangover from 2 losses in a row, as Tuesday night they just said to Southern Illinois, you know what? We kind of mad, and we're going to beat up on y'all for a while. So just take it like, strong human beings, and we'll let you know when we're done. And that's what they did, Daryl. They just simply took this game from the beginning, and they said, you were there with me. You saw it. I mean, it's just like they were playing a high school team or something. It was a nice showing by Louisville.
That's absolutely what it felt like. Was we were playing a high school team, and I mean that's just it's sad to beat up on the other team like that, but I mean you get what you pay for, and the Cards were just looking to come out and show the fans that yeah, we lost a player this weekend, we lost the game, but we're coming back and we're still fighting for a national championship ourselves. So it was just the Cards are rolling on all cylinders. I think they got out to an 11-0 start to start the game. I mean, they gave up 1-3 in the second quarter, y'all. A 3. It
Yeah.
was just a great game for the Cards to get their feet back under them, and just everybody gets the ball and some playing time. It was very balanced on the minutes for the game. I think we saw the the bench get a good amount of minutes, and it was successful. They were getting the shots, they were sharing the ball, they weren't turning, they were taking it over, so they're not turning it over. And it was just an absolute rout.
It was indeed. That's the best word maybe to describe it. Was a routing Louisville, and Jared was there taking photos of it. Sent some great ones that we used in the Cardinal Couple article on Tuesday, except for the one Daryl took of me eating cookies. That was probably the best photo.
We were trying to get the professional to do it, but professional was out getting the scoop.
Yeah, he was. Jared. He talks to 80 people in a game, and none of them remember. He didn't remember what he said to any of them. But anyway, he was out there running around. But okay, we went big here, Jared. Liz Dixon and Olivia Cochran to start the game. Morgan Jones is certainly no small guard at 6'1", 6'2". And then, of course, with Haley and Cece, did that starting lineup surprise you a little bit? I mean, we don't normally put two bigs out there at the same time like that.
I think this was one of those games Walls was going to try some different looks and ideas to see what may or may not be successful in later games, because there's probably going to be some matchups this season where we're going to have to run a bigger lineup. And I think before the year started, a lot of us thought Olivia might be seeing a little more time at the 4 and letting Liz and Josie handle the 5. So this was one of those times that Olivia got to run a true 4 for much of the game, and I thought she played well. It was another time, like you mentioned, a lot of the freshmen getting some good playing time. Nyla Harris, 23 minutes. Ziana Walker, who is no longer going to be redshirting, got 18 minutes. Jalen Brown got 10 minutes. So it's a good game for new faces to get their feet wet without feeling too overwhelmed. I mean, they beat up on a team that honestly could probably beat our men's basketball team today if they tried to throw a little shade that way. But yeah, I mean, everybody on our team shot 50% or better from the field. I'd love to see those types of numbers. That's not something that's realistic to ask every game for every single player to shoot 50% or better. We also got to see Haley score her 1,000th career point, which was
Nice.
another wonderful thing to see. Team just played well as a whole, especially as Daryl mentioned there's no Peyton Burholz. And then on top of that, Mikasa Robinson was out on concussion protocol. So you had two of your key players from the first 7-8 games of the year not playing,
and Marika,
and still looked
don't
great.
forget Marika. Marika was also
Right.
out, Jared. We actually
She
asked
was
her.
not feeling great, a little stomach issue going
After
on.
the game, I said, "Are you okay, Marika?" And she goes, "Yes, I am okay." And then we found out later she had stomach nausea, or as Wall said, maybe she had gas. I don't know. But
It's been a tough schedule so far this season,
Yeah.
so it's nice to add a bunny team every once in a while to let your starters get some rest and let your other players get more experience on there. So it was a great win, made the fans happy by breaking 100. You know, you're putting a band-aid on some wounds right now, and hopefully we'll see that those wounds are healed for tomorrow.
And I'd like to contribute to this. Since we're talking about going big, we talk about Josie Williams and her impact on this team, and I think it was her that actually had that shot that put the Cards over 100. I believe it was a 3-pointer. So
Yes.
her one attempt from beyond the 3 went in, and she had 19 minutes, 11 points, 5 rebounds. She was 5 for 9. She had an impact in this game, and I think it was a really good opportunity to get her confidence up and show her that, hey, we could use you if necessary. So she had a good game and got the Cards over 100 points, and the crowd went wild. So I think that was just a good opportunity for Josie too.
Jeff Walls had wanted to see a more aggressive squad, and certainly I think they got that. And he'd also wanted to see a squad that would go to the boards more and get better rebounding. And I think he accomplished both of those. The Cards accomplished both of those things for his request, I think.
Yeah, Nyla Harris had 9 rebounds. She led the team. 9 rebounds in 23 minutes, 8 points. I mean, she is just showing that she can be put in a game and make an impact, and at a very early point of her career. I'm just, every time she comes in, there's this energy, and she takes up so much room on the court. She's fast, she is long, and I think she's eager, and that's just what this team needs.
Kind of reminds you in some ways of a young Angel McCaughtry, perhaps. Yes, yes, that is not a wrong observation at all, I don't think. But we'll see. A lot of time left in that career. All right, it all happens coming up on Sunday. Rupp Arena, Lexington, Kentucky, 1 p.m. The Cards take on the UK Wildcats. Uh, what do you guys think about this one here? I mean, UK's only lost one game this year. Admittedly, they haven't had a real strong schedule, but still, I think we go into that arena with a little bit of trepidation, perhaps, maybe. Jeff, your thoughts on this? What about this game?
Yeah, I'm worried about this one. I haven't given it a huge deal of thought, given that I've been in such in volleyball mode. But yeah, I'm worried that the wins that our team have been over some pretty weak opponents so far, and are they going to be able to maintain that composure and maintain the presence of play that they had against SIUE against a opponent that's more at the level of what we're typically playing. So we know Kentucky is not at their pinnacle that they've ever been at, obviously, at this point, but they're still a good team. They've got a lot of talent. I'm pretty worried about this one. I'm thinking we probably end up on the losing side of this one, probably.
Hate to see that happen. Let's hope you're
Yeah.
wrong on that. But they are an opponent to fear. Jared will be up there along with me and Sonia and a few other Cardinal fans watching this one. Jared, your thoughts on this version of the Wildcats?
I think my concern with tomorrow's game surrounds more with the fact we have very few players who got any experience playing in Lexington. You have to remember last year was at the KFCM Center, and the year prior to that was kind of the COVID situation, so we did not play UK. So a lot of these current players have not experienced a true road game there. I mean, you're one of your best players, Haley Van Lit's never been to Lexington. Chrislyn Carr's never been to Lexington. Her time in Syracuse. Morgan Jones has never been to Lexington. A lot of these players, I mean, Olivia Cochran, I think same thing. Just this is going to be a different experience for them. It's a big time rivalry. It's at a venue that's going to get loud and be very hostile. It's not going to be an easy one to go through, and I don't know how well we're going to be able to handle that. You've got to stay focused and tune out the crowd and just worry about what's happening on the court. And I think that's a big concern tomorrow.
And I think the last time we were up there, Jared, is when was the fire alarm going off in the post game interviews, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
If
the
I
fire
remember
alarm goes off
correctly.
post game interviews, and then we got lucky that they missed a shot there at the buzzer, so we ended up winning by
Oh
one.
yeah.
Yes, indeed. That was a very, very nervous time there. As the UK did have a chance to win that thing at the buzzer. But we'll see what happens with it.
I
There,
believe Ryan Howard took that shot and it just didn't
yes, it
go in.
was.
And we were all just holding our breath.
I think Jared came over and took a picture of Sonya and I just seconds after she missed that shot. I was clutching my chest and looking for a defibrillator.
Were there sweat beads on your forehead?
No, those were not sweat beads. Those were drops of rain. Yeah, I was sweating that badly.
So the players on our roster that were at that game, there's three of them: Mikasa Robinson, Marika Kono, and Liz Dixon.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on this one, y'all, is just if you would have asked me this time last week if the Cards were going to be Kentucky, I straight up would have said no. However, with the way that things have played out this week, and I just have this feeling that the team they've got each other's back. This is going to be a fight. We also got to see Morgan Jones after the game on Tuesday and hear her thoughts on the match, and I think she's looking forward to it. She had a career game the other night. Yes, it was SIUE, but I mean, if you have 8 steals in 17 minutes, you've got some talent to work with. So I think that the Cards it'll be a fight. It always is. There's so much history in this rivalry, and it's a date that's circled on both teams' calendars to get the win, and I just think that the team will pull it out. All you need is one more point than the other team, and I think it'll be a good one for the record as we look for the postseason.
The situation also where Haley Van Lith was actually on the ACC PM show a couple days ago talking with I think it's Packer, and I forget who else is on that show. They have a couple of
Hmm.
people come in, and Haley said the best is yet to come for Louisville basketball. She said we're just beginning to hit our stride. She said we've got our team rolling now. We're doing some good things, and you all look out because we're on fire, and here we come. Uh,
I
Certainly,
believe her.
you would think they would hope they would have to start with a win over Kentucky, right? I mean, yeah, that's what I would hope, and let's hope
Yeah,
Haley's right.
and we
Let's,
got a road schedule here that's um, coming up this month, and well, minus the Bellarmine game, it's tough to call that one a road one. I think that the Cards fans will find their way into that one. But December is going to be a tough month before we head into conference play.
should be indeed. The Cards will play actually two state opponents here within the space of like 4 or 5 days.
Mhm.
Playing Kentucky at Kentucky, and then of course Bellarmine at Bellarmine or Freedom Hall, as it were. So let's hope that the Cats can uh, give give us a game, but not beat us. I think a stiff competition game for Louisville right now would be very good for them to be able to be tested by somebody and maybe have to resort to a holding on at the end or a dramatic comeback to win this. I think this would do wonders for the Cardinal team right now. Of course, naturally we would all love a blowout. I don't think you're going to get that out of the Cards against the Cats. There's just too much in this rivalry, too
Mhm.
much that goes on. But let's hope that we can go up there and defeat UK in Lexington on Sunday, 1 p.m. I think, what is this, AC? No, is this a ESPN game?
Yeah.
ESPN for tomorrow,
Yeah,
yes.
if you can't go up there Sunday, it's on ESPN. So watch that way. I wonder if we'll get the Debbie Antonelli crew down there to come in and call this one. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Since something I'd found out, Debbie Antonelli actually worked at UK for 4 years.
Gross.
Yeah, sure did. So, although she pretends to be this great big Cardinal fan, I don't know. If she calls this game, she might be wearing blue. Look out. Ah, but
If
that
she
does.
is, I know some people that'll tell her about it.
Oh, I'll definitely tell her about it. Yeah. It's like I got on Holly Rowe one time when she came in to do her sideline deal at a Louisville game and was wearing a Kentucky blue sweatshirt.
Mm.
I said, no, 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 no. You're in Louisville now. You don't wear blue in this stadium. What's your problem? She goes, oh my God, I didn't even think of that.
Wow.
She goes, well,
Do better, Holly.
it's too late now. I didn't bring a change of shirts. I'm like, you go bare chested then, girl. You get that blue off you right now. No, I didn't say that. All right. With all said, let's go ahead, I think, and roll into some final thoughts now. Uh, we'll get some fun stuff coming up in the next 48 hours, y'all. Jeff, why don't you start us out with final thoughts?
Yeah. I just got my PC that I was waiting for, that I didn't think was going to be delivered until much later. So that's nice. But other than that, let's get out to the KFCM Center this afternoon. Fill that up. Let's make them open up the upper deck if we can. That would be 11,000 plus people. That would be an incredible turnout. Tickets are very inexpensive at the door. It's a great Saturday afternoon. Come on down, watch some great volleyball, and let's cheer on the Cards to a victory.
Absolutely. So come on out for this one, y'all. It should be a fun one. Jared, final thoughts.
Kind of mirror what Jeff said. If you can, go on down to a volleyball, cheap tickets, a great match. Unless you're planning to go to Omaha, it's gonna be the last time you see a lot of these seniors play in person. But fill the arena up. I think even Katie has kind of been toying with the idea about going to volleyball. So maybe I can talk Daryl into going to volleyball too, and they'll sit together so Katie's not alone.
Well, there you go. Jared's already scheming. Jared already working on stuff. Uh, and I don't know who wants to go next year. Daryl, you want to go to me?
I
Daryl, why
guess
don't you,
it'll
Daryl?
be me.
Go ahead.
Uh, and Jared, it's not that I don't want to be there. I will be across town for an appointment, and hopefully, I'll get out in time to even watch the match. So that is
Yeah.
my hold
Excuses.
up.
That
You got
dreaded
to tell
East
that
End.
appointment that
That
priorities are watching the game.
Yeah,
that that,
reschedule.
that dreaded East
I
End.
actually did look into it, and the next opportunity to go was in February, so I kind of got to get in when I can. But anyways, my final thoughts, guys, is that I think that the last few months, my final thought has been to bring Brittany Griner home. And Thursday morning, I was shocked to see that that actually happened. I woke up, I saw the news, and I actually screamed like, yes, finally. She's not forgotten. She doesn't have to be there for as long as they had anticipated. I was really worried she was going to get forgotten. Like 9 years is a really long time, guys. And she's here, she's home, and she's still got a long road. I think just getting back into I don't want to say society, but routines, and I'm sure she's got a whole bunch of mental stuff to unpack as well. And I'm just so glad that this administration was able to bring her home and continue fighting for her, because that sends a message that we don't give up.
Certainly glad. I was so glad to see her sitting on that plane, getting ready to come back to the United States, because I know it's been a big worry of a lot of not only basketball fans but other people who just worried about the whole situation on what is basically a bogus kind of stupid charge where half the states
Yeah.
or more here are not even criminalizing what she was caught with. Okay, but in
And she
Russia,
went over there to work. Let's
yeah,
not forget that
yeah,
fact.
she wasn't on a social trip. I mean, she was headed over there to play a little basketball, earn some money, right? And
Yeah,
And
and
win some titles for that country.
yeah,
Russia has had a pretty good basketball league, and I think they pretty much
yeah,
torpedoed
Oh,
their.
no one's playing there
Yeah, there's
for
no way.
no.
I
The
don't
Yeah.
yeah,
don't think you're going to get any other Americans over there, but okay, we'll see.
Russia's kind of I think cutting their ties with a lot of the
Yeah,
world.
I think so. So we'll see. But yeah, she's on her way home, and that's fantastic. Just final thoughts out of me. I'm excited about this weekend so far. Fired up to be actually able to be down at the Yum Center tomorrow today and watch some very very good volleyball, and hopefully we'll be walking out of there with a Cardinal win under our belts, and then of course going up to Lexington tomorrow. I think Jared and I don't know who else Jared's gonna pile in his vehicle with me and Sonia and him, but we will make the trip up to Rupp Arena, try to get in the arena without any serious problems, uh, get our media badges, and then attend this game. And hopefully, we'll see the Louisville women's basketball team come up with a win over Kentucky. That would be a pretty fun weekend, y'all, seeing two big Cardinal wins. And I hope that it does happen.
it would.
But that'll do it for us today. Certainly, we'll be happy to join you all again next week. Unless you know something we don't, we'll be back on here at 11 a.m. for the Cardinal Couple Radio Hour podcast. Let's go, Cards. Let's win two this weekend. What do you say?